Welcome back. Now, we all know, of course, losing anyone to you is not easy. And if you are a little kid, it can be really difficult. And honestly, all the way through teenagers and adults, it's hard. And this is where Pathfinders Camp comes in to play. Now, this afternoon, we have Maren Simon with us to talk more about this one-of-a-kind camp. Maren, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about the camp. What exactly do you do? Because are we just going outside and communing with nature while being sad? What's going on there?
A little bit of that.
Okay.
So Pathfinders Camp, it's for kids ages 6 to 15 grieving any type of loss of someone special to them. So the heart behind what we do at camp is really to help kids understand their grief. You know, what is grief? It's hard for us adults to understand, let alone being a young kid. So helping them understand what is grief, how do we experience it, how do we, our feelings, our thoughts, getting those out, but doing so in a fun environment. So it's at Camp Miaconda, so we have a lot of fun. So it is communing with nature, like you said a little bit. Yes, yeah.
When it comes to timing, well, what if itty bitty, I always call her itty bitty, but like what if the tiny person that you have with you, let's say grandma died like a year ago.
Yeah.
Versus, you know, maybe little John had a grandparent or a parent die just a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Does it matter when?
It can be either, and I've seen either. I will defer oftentimes to what families think will be most appropriate for their child. So sometimes if they want to wait until the following year, that's okay. But I always say it's never too late and it's never too soon. So whether it's been a few months, whether it's been a few years, either way is okay. They're going to get something out of it. And I've seen children learn different things even based on how long it's been. So, which is just natural of grief process for anybody. You know, we're gonna understand different things about ourselves that first year than we are the second year and the third year as grief continues.
Is camp supposed to be, because I feel like that sounds hard, because as we said, grief, death, this loss is not an easy thing to deal with. So is camp just going to be this giant cry fest the entire time?
It's a really good question, which I actually get asked that quite frequently by parents and caregivers. So what I tell folks is, it sounds strange to say of a grief camp, but honestly, we have so much fun. So much fun. And I'm not just saying that. We've heard that even from kids.
Right.
They have fun. So it's a combination of, we do archery, we go fishing, we swim, and sometimes that's the first time kids have ever done archery or done fishing. Right. So they're getting these fun experiences. We dance, we do music, art, I mean, you name it.
Joy.
And amidst that, every day we're doing at least one activity where we're helping them explore something about their grief. So we're processing, you know, what does it look like when I'm angry? And how do I deal with anger in healthy ways? Or how do I help myself understand that grief can be separate from me? It is not who I am. I have grief, not grief is me.
Nice.
So helping them kind of understand those things as just part of the day, not the whole day.
I like that. Now, when it comes to the age groups, we said about 6 into our teenage years, but sometimes I feel like a tiny person doesn't get it, like a more mature, a teenager would,
yes,
if you will.
oh yeah.
So is everybody kind of in one group, or are we separated by our age groups?
Excellent question. So yes, they are separated by groups. We affectionately call them littles, middles, tweens, and teens. It's the easiest way to remember it, and it kind of rhymes, which is fun. So our littles are 6 to 7-year-olds, middles are 8 to 9, then 10 to 12, and then 13 to 15. Because you're absolutely right, Tatiana, in that our littles, like 6 to 7, you understand death very differently when you're 6 and 7 years old compared to our teenagers, and the conversations they're able to have and the language that they have that younger folks don't. So they're definitely kind of separated into different groups and then able to have different conversations based upon that.
Okay, well, I'm already sold on sending my imaginary 5-year-old to camp, as well as my teenager. But when, what time, and kind of, you know, and maybe if I don't have somebody, how can I get involved?
Yes. Ooh. Excellent. So camp is Tuesday, July 23rd through Friday, July 26th. Applications are open right now to apply for camp, and it's available through June 12th. And if someone like yourself is looking to get involved, or anyone in our community, we do rely heavily on volunteers. They make camp a success. So if folks are looking for a really rewarding, meaningful opportunity, would highly recommend they get involved. Same place that our application is available, folks can also go to our website and look at volunteer opportunities. Again, it is a very special thing to be a part of. And I know I'm a little biased, but I highly recommend. Highly recommend.
What does it mean for you? Because I know this has been a number of years for you. It's a passion that you've been doing for quite some time. What does it mean for you to watch folks go through this process?
Yes.
And then just be a part of this? Because, like we said, this is heavy.
It is.
You know?
It is. And it is heavy and it's special. It is such meaningful work. And I can't tell you how many times, just because this is our 3rd year of camp, hearing in response to even some of the folks we've had come back, hearing from their parent or caregiver and say, hey, little Johnny, he can't stop talking about it. Like, or he still talks to the kids that he met at camp last year. That in and of itself, worth it. All the hard work that we put into doing this every year. So just seeing the connections that these kids make with each other. Sometimes it's the first time they've had an opportunity to meet someone like themselves, to meet someone who also lost their dad or also lost their sister or whoever, and know that they're not alone. They're not by themselves experiencing that there's someone that understands them in that unique, special way, and that makes it very rewarding.
It's a grief camp that you kind of want to go to just, in a sense, get away, but then learn how to deal.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Goodness. Anything else you want to make sure that we mention when we talk about this? Because I love this idea, the fact that they can get out and get free, and it's a good age group where there's mental health is definitely necessary for these tiny people.
Yes. So I would just encourage folks, like, if you have questions, if you have any interest whatsoever, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Always happy to help people navigate what the best support for them would be, and happy to have them at camp.
Wonderful. Maren, one more time, tell us where we should go and when is the time for camp.
All right, our website, which is hospicenwo.org. The applications are open. It stays open through June 12th, although I would recommend apply as soon as you can.
Now.
We've had a wait list every year, so recommend getting in there soon.